Quantum Islam, Towards a New Worldview. By Murray Hunter and Asli Rahman. Introduction. In concluding our essay on Tawhidic singularity as a new philosophy of Islam, we proposed that Muslims need to interpret the core teaching of oneness from a kaleidoscopic perspective. We asked readers to reflect upon the applicability of chaos or complexity theory to view Islam as an organic and living religion, inviting its believers to look at the concept of oneness as the manifesting of manyness. In this essay, we go deeper into the discussion of the soul of the Quran itself and how Muslims could perceive and read it as a postmodern text with multiple level meanings based on her unique life experiences. We wish to propose the worldview of quantum Islam, as a new way looking at this cultural belief system. We invite readers to think of Islam as more than just unquestioning faith and rites and rituals, but as an evolving text to be made alive. The idea of a living Quran is a means of perceiving and feeling one's existence as a world of interconnectedness. This world of deep personal connectivity is a world of the physical, emotional and spiritual self as it exists in the realm of the universal self, as a world designed as a quantum being in itself. Multiple universes and the Quran. Islam is about what cannot at present be explained intrinsically through the science we know today. The Quran is a deeply layered book of meaning. However, the majority of Muslims have tended to take literal views. The Quran has also foreseen many scientific discoveries and defined the nature of our realities. Such a view of the cognitive and metaphysical nature of the text has been dominant at a time when Islamic philosophy was being conceived, especially in the debates between scholars trained in Greek philosophy with those trying to rid the influence of rationalism in epistemologizing the meaning of existence. The Quran and Hadiths have shaped the worldview of 20% of the world's population. But Islam today is viewed as a singular reality, embedded in Arabism and hellfire paradigms, coercing Muslims to follow literal views, within a carrot-and-stick enlightenment and fear syndrome. As a consequence, Islam has not been the means to a higher-level universal wisdom that the Quran can facilitate, if read with this understanding. Al-Rabb al-Alamin, the Lord of the worlds, indicates a multiverse with parallel realities. There are parallel universes mentioned within the Quran that we don't have access to. These worlds are widely talked about within the Quran, the world of the jinns, as in the verse, "And the jinn race, we had created before, from the fire of a scorching wind." Quran, 15:27. The 99 names of Allah also suggest multi-existential paradigms. Challenges of constructing this multi-universal view. The first challenge is to escape the unipolar world and live in, and transcend to the multipolar world the Quran describes. That is, atoms can be both a particle and wave and thus be in multiple places at the same time. True realities are multipolar dynamics, rather than unipolar statics. Thus, to understand the complexity of the environment, we must develop both our personal self-awareness and social awareness. So where reality is multi-layered and kaleidoscopic, layered and deeper meanings can be derived from the chaotic environment we exist within through contemplating the layered intricacies and meanings within the Quran. Muslims viewing the text of the Quran as a living and evolving one, can find a meaningful guide to life and the universe, which we propose is what quantum Islam means. What one sees with the naked eye, a phenomenon to be studied, is just a level of reality that we construct cognitively. However, as one reads deeper into the meaning of the Quran, one may find the signs and symbols manifesting themselves in newer ways, which we digest and make meaning of through our self-awareness or spirituality. The second challenge is that we must understand that we are not at the center of the world. We must override the assumption that modern humankind has adopted, in that humans can control nature and nature is here to serve us. What we think and the assumptions behind our very thoughts may not actually resemble reality, and may not be the truth. Once we shed this egocentric view of the world, we come to realize that we cannot control nature and we must nurture nature. In the Quran it is said, "Say, He is Allah, He is one, He is eternal, He begets not nor is He begotten, and there is none equal unto Him." Surah Ikhlas, 112. Muslims engaged in a cognitive and metaphysical reading of the Quran may propose that human existence is both physical and conceptual, and that as a Platonic view would content, we are both forms and appearance, and that if the self is an invention, creation to manifest the truth, there is a larger truth of being and nothingness, in another world of the unseen. This is the idea of corresponding reality of existence. Islam proposes that this view of quantum state of beingness can only be understood if one understands the meaning of selflessness or the destruction of the ego, and to allow the self to be liberated from the confines of a physical and mechanistic world. The third challenge is to read the question from a culturally neutral perspective. This means stripping the notion that all that is Islam is Arabic, and with fallacy, to believe that religious belief is not cultural. This is to begin to believe that to be a Muslim, one need not aspire to be or to become an Arab. If Islam is a universal truth, it is not Arab-centric, and many of the rites and rituals cannot be universal, if for example, Islam was to the truth on another planet like Mars. What would Islam be like without the cultural anchors that have grown around it and almost strangled the truth? If, as the last message of Prophet Muhammad would contend, that Islam promotes a universal message of peace, and be viewed as the final revelation, and that only 20% of the world's 1.5 billion Muslims are speakers of the Arabic language, what has been the consequence of Islam as religion that has been too much caught in the semiotics of Arabism? Simply put, why is being Muslim today synonymous of being or looking Arabic? The three challenges above, namely that we are living in a multipolar world, that our existence is not central to the universe, and that religion is a cultural construct to present ways for Muslims to view Islam differently. The Quran, in its very first few words of revelation, read, "In the name of thy Lord who created thee," is a clear enough proposition for believers in this religion to read oneself and to read the world one is living in. It is an invitation for readers to not only read the world but also to write a story of one's life, based on one's own worldview, and to unshackle oneself from being defined by others. The challenges above are existential in nature, given by the Quran to the readers. Verily, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of night and day, there are indeed signs for men of understanding, men who remember Allah, standing, sitting, and lying down on their sides, and contemplate the creation of the heavens and the earth, with the thought, Our Lord, not for nothing have you created all this. Glory to you. Give us salvation from the suffering of the fire. Quran 3, 190-191. The Ummah as singularity in multiplicity. The Ummah is an interconnection of oneness, not segregated tribes who are at war with each other. We are left to reflect upon the multiplicity of worlds that were created and understand that we are only a tiny part of it. This opens up wisdom, develops humbleness, and increases